Greetings, students. Happy Friday to everybody. And this is the persuasive speech video as promised. I hope everybody has a fantastic weekend working on their persuasive speech. So basically what I want to do in this video essentially is talk about how to organize these things. But before I do that, I just want to say a couple words about persuasion in general. So the goal of a persuasive speech is to change the beliefs, values, or attitudes of your audience. Every speech that we see over the next couple of weeks is going to be aimed at either a belief, a value, or an attitude. So it's really important to figure out which element in your audience you're actually trying to change. Something else that I want to say about persuasive speaking is that it's actually the type of speaking that you will engage in most frequently in your personal life, in your professional life, and in your academic life. It's happening all around us all the time. We're continually being persuaded from little things to big things. Persuasive speaking is also the key to social change. Every major social movement, the feminist movement, the civil rights movement, the gay rights movement, all of these movements, what they have in common is that citizens got together and decided that something was unfair or unjust, and they put together persuasive speeches to move the country to make change. So persuasive speaking is so unbelievably powerful. It's intimately connected to democracy, intimately connected to social change, and it's something that's happening regularly all the time. So keep that in mind. And if you have any more questions about the goals of persuasive speaking, just send me an email or give me a call or talk to me in class. What I want to do now is I want to talk about how to organize these things. Now, like I said in class, everything that you know about outlining is going to stay the same. You're going to have an intro, you're going to have a body, and you're going to have a conclusion. All the rules for outlining, those also remain the same. The only thing that's going to be different is how you set up the body. And there are 5 different ways to set up the body, and I'm going to talk briefly about each of those ways. The first way to set up a persuasive speech is called Monroe's motivated sequence, and it revolves around 5 steps. Each of those steps counts as a main point. So if you use Monroe's motivated sequence, you will have 5 main points. Now I'm going to talk about each main point and what it sounds like. The first main point in Monroe's motivated sequence is the attention step. The attention step essentially is an extended attention getter. Everybody in here already knows how to do attention getters. So basically main point 1 is another attention getter, but it's longer because it's a main point, right? So you want to bring in statistics, ask questions, tell stories, but grab the attention of your audience in relation to your topic. That's main point 1, the attention step. Main point 2 is called the need step. This is where you have to illustrate to the audience that there is a need for change. This is where you bring in evidence to show the audience that there is a problem with the way things currently are. The status quo is flawed, we need to make a change, and then you bring in evidence to document that this problem really, really does exist. So that's main point 2, which is the need step. Main point 3 is the satisfaction step, also sometimes referred to as the solution. So main point 2, you laid out a problem. You said there's a problem with the status quo. Main point 3 is where you present a solution to solve the problem that you said existed. And you want to be clear, and you want to be specific, and you want to show the audience exactly how your solution solves the problem that you talked about, right? Main point 4 is called visualization. Visualization basically is where you show the audience the benefits that would emerge if they adopt your solution. So this is where you paint a picture of what the world will look like if your solution is adopted and the problem is fixed. You help the audience visualize the positive outcomes of your solution. And main point 5 is called the action step. The action step is where you tell the audience what they need to do. What is their role in your plan Do you want them to vote differently? Do you want them to give money? Do you want them to stop doing something? Do you want them to start doing something? And so forth. That's the action step. What do you want the audience to do? So that's Monroe's motivated sequence. Attention, need, satisfaction, visualization, and action. All right? Next method of organization is called problem solution. Main point 1 is very similar to main point 2 in Monroe's motivated sequence. So the main point 1 is the problem. This is where you document and bring in evidence to show the audience that there's a problem with the way things currently are. Main point 2 is the solution. Bring in evidence to show how to solve the problem. This is a really, really common way to set up a persuasive speech. This is how politicians talk. What they do is they say things like, the government wastes your tax dollars. Problem. Vote for me, and I'll see to it that that is eliminated. Solution. So this is a really common way to set up a persuasive speech. Problem, solution. You could have more than 2 main points if you want to talk about the problem using 2 different Roman numerals and you want to talk about 2 different solutions. That's fine too. But just realize that the body of your speech consists of problems and then solutions. The third way to set up your speech is called problem, cause, solution. So this is a little bit different because you have another main point, which is the cause, all right? And so the cause, I like to call the cause the blame game. So you've set out a problem, just like you've done in the other patterns. And then main point 2, this is where you talk about why the problem exists. Who is causing the problem? And you want to blame individuals and you want to also blame institutions, right? So this is where you talk about how the government is causing the problem, how religion is causing the problem, how the education system is causing the problem, how media is causing the problem, how corporations are causing the problem. You want to show that large institutions are the cause of this problem. You also want to blame individuals. This is where you can talk to people in the class and tell the audience members that it's their fault that the problem exists, right? So you have problem, cause, solution. The cause is where you show how institutions and individuals are causing the problem. Main point 3 is the solution. So you've blamed the government, you've blamed corporations, you've blamed religion, you've blamed education. Now what do you want those institutions to do? How can they fix the problem? Does the government need to give more funding, etc.? And you've also blamed people in the class. So how can they solve the problem? Do you want them to vote differently? Do you want them to give money? Do you want them to do something or stop doing something? So that's problem, cause, solution. So we've talked about Monroe's motivated sequence, problem, solution, problem, cause, solution. Now we're going to move on to pattern number 4. Pattern number 4 is called refutation. Refutation is a really good way to set up your speech if you know what people are saying against your side. So when you refute an argument, what you do is you talk about why the other side is wrong while at the same time supporting your position about why you're right. So what you want to do is you want to take the arguments that are against your side and show why they're flawed. So in terms of the body and the main points, I don't know how many main points you're going to have. It depends how many arguments you decide to refute, right? So basically, maybe you want to do a speech on persuading the audience that marijuana should be legal for recreational purposes. And you go out and you do some research and you see what the opposition is saying. So main point 1 might sound something like this. Many people argue that marijuana should not be legal for recreational purposes because if it is, more people will use it. And then what you do is you say, that argument makes no sense and here is why. And you bring in evidence to show why that argument is flawed. Main point 2, marijuana should not be legal for recreational purposes because there will be more people driving under the influence. And then you come and you say, that is not true, and here's why it's not true. So that's what refutation is essentially, is you take the arguments that are against your side and you show why they don't make any sense and why they're wrong. I like this method. I think it's really interesting and it's kind of cool. So think about that. It works well if you already know the arguments that are against your side, like death penalty is a good one to use for this, drug law reform, abortion, those kind of topics where you already know what people are saying on both sides. Refutation works really well. All right, the fifth and final pattern of organization is called comparative advantage or pro-con. Now, this pattern is different from the other ones because in the other patterns, what you've done is you've spent a lot of time documenting that a problem exists. But in comparative advantage, in pro-con, you don't spend any time talking about the problem. Instead, you spend time talking about the solution. So here's what it's going to look like in your body. I'm going to go back to that marijuana law speech because it seems to be make a lot of sense and easy to understand. So what is a big problem in the world that people know about that you don't really have to like persuade people that it exists? The drug war, right? So we all know that the government spends billions of dollars a year to stop people from doing drugs. And a lot of people think that the drug war is really just about marijuana. And a lot of people think that we could end the drug war if we legalize marijuana. So basically, what you would do is you would talk about legalization of marijuana for recreational purposes. So what you would do is you would do main point one, and it's the pro side. You would talk about all the benefits that would emerge if we legalize marijuana. Main point two is the con side. This is where you will talk about all the consequences, all the bad stuff that would happen if we legalize marijuana. And then main point three is your position on the topic. Should we legalize it? Not, right? So main point one, benefits of legalization. Main point two, why legalization is bad. And then main point three, what is your position on the topic? So this one, you kind of talk about both sides of an issue. Why is it good to solve the problem like this? Why is it bad to solve the problem like this? And what do I think? How do I think the problem should be solved? All right, so I've done it in less than 15 minutes. I know this video is super long. You might have to like watch it in parts because I think it might be too much listening to me. So first pattern, Monroe's motivated sequence. Second pattern, problem solution. Third pattern, problem cause solution. Fourth pattern, refutation. Fifth pattern is pro-con. So I'm hoping that after listening to this discussion that you're able to figure out how to set up your speech. If you're still totally confused, come talk to me. Send me an email. I'll give you a call. Like I said, I'm available to meet with you guys if you need help. But I'm going to sign off now and try to enjoy my Friday night. And yeah, these videos are kind of weird. I make you do them. I probably should do them more often. Welcome to my home, actually. It's kind of bizarre. All right, I'll see you guys next week. Peace.